Welcome to Mr. Wizard's Workshop, episode 45. Focus this week is affirmations and productivity. So I coach entrepreneurs and solopreneurs who struggle with procrastination and productivity. So I'm all about the productivity and effective time, energy, task management. And most of the videos in my YouTube channel, like my recent series of shorts on calendar time blocking, are very clearly in that domain. So why am I planning on creating some videos on affirmations, meditations, and mindfulness practice? Part of the inspiration for me to create some videos around those topics is one of my coaching clients. He recently asked me what that kind of woo-woo stuff had to do with the practical, pragmatic world of personal productivity and getting our shit done. And I've got another client who's much more into it, but he's been asking me some particular questions about which ones I use and how to best approach it. So as a business coach is educating about and coaching on affirmations and mindfulness practices, stuff that is really outside my lane. Before I answer that question, a quick reminder, if you'd like a copy of this slide deck, just email me at support@theaccountabilitywizard.com. I'd be happy to send you a copy. So the answer to the question in a word is no. Mastering your mind and your emotions is essential for success in any area of life, most definitely, including work and baseball. And I threw the baseball in so I could use a quote from Yogi Berra. Baseball is 90% mental and the other half is physical. So remember those core principles that spent lots and lots of time reviewing, discussing over 15 different workshops. So half of those 12 core productivity principles that I use and teach my coaching clients are directly based on the importance of mastering your mind and your emotion. Not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I'm going to run through them real quick. So core productivity principle number 2, managing time is actually about managing yourself. That's episode number 28, Mr. Wizard's Workshop. Core productivity principle number 4, habit is destiny. That's episode 30. Principle number 5, internal chaos creates external chaos. That's episode 31. Principle number 7, your future can either be an extension of your past or something new that you can create, which is episode 33. Principle number 8, focus on what you want to create, not on what you want to avoid, which was episode number 34. And then the core productivity principle number 12 was you need to become the next version of you to maximize your productivity, which was episode number 38. So one of the specific benefits that I promise and deliver to my coaching clients is overcome the limiting beliefs and blocks that are holding you back. It's one of the specific features, benefits rather, I list in my offer. And one of the most powerful tools for doing that is mindfulness, that is becoming consistently aware of your limiting beliefs and negative program. In conjunction with that, practicing affirmations to correct negative programs. So affirmations done properly can indeed help you to overcome limiting beliefs and blocks. Positive affirmations leverage neuroplasticity. That is your brain's ability to change and adapt to different circumstances throughout your life, even up through and including into old age. So your brain can get a little mixed up or not be able to necessarily differentiate between reality and imagination. That can be either very harmful for you or surprisingly useful. Creating a mental image of yourself doing something like acing a nerve-wracking interview, conquering your fear of heights by bungee jumping, it activates many of the same brain areas that actually experiencing those situations. So regular repetition of affirming statements about yourself can encourage your brain to take these positive affirmations as fact. When you truly believe you can do something, your actions often follow. And if you believe that you can't do something, you won't act. So for example, you might replace a negative or anxious thought like, I'm not nearly as experienced and knowledgeable as lots of the experts making YouTube videos about online marketing. I'm no guru. Who am I to make content on this subject? With a positive affirmation, which is, I have all the necessary skills and experience to create interesting and useful videos. My goal is to educate and help people, and I don't have to be a world-class guru on a subject to do that. So repeating an affirmation can help boost your motivation and confidence, but you still have to take some action yourself. So try thinking of affirmations as a step towards change, not the change itself. For example, I used to have a bit of a short fuse at work. If someone was annoying me, I could get pretty grumpy and impatient pretty quick. So I used an affirmation, and this is going back quite a few years, something along the lines of, I can remain calm even when I feel annoyed, helped to guide me to a habit of deep breathing, grounding exercises that I automatically kicked into when I started to feel my irritation kicking in. So those tactics combined with my affirmation helped me to deal with annoying coworkers, bosses, and team members much more effectively. The affirmations didn't make the change, I did. But the affirmation offered me a starting point. So some tips for using affirmations effectively. One is set them in the present. They can seem similar to goals, but they don't work in quite the same way. So remember neuroplasticity. So you're using affirmations to help change long-standing patterns and beliefs. And a good way to bring this change about is to act as if you've already succeeded. A goal remains something you have to work toward. An affirmation, on the other hand, strengthens your confidence by reminding you of what you can do right now. Another really important thing is keep it real. So affirmations tend to have the most benefit when they center on specific traits, realistic, achievable changes you like to make to those traits. So change is always possible, but some changes happen more easily than others. And affirmations by themselves can't produce change in every situation. And more importantly, and this is where I see people who say, I've tried affirmations, they don't work, are some of the reported scientific research on affirmations not working is based on this particular issue, which is if your affirmation focuses on a statement that you don't accept as true, it actually hurts you. It's demotivating and it's not going to be successful. For example, say you picked up a stock affirmation floating around out there, I deserve to be successful. Well, I think that is actually a realistic statement for just about everybody. If most of your part buy into this, if it feels mostly or all right when you say it emotionally, then it's working for you. In NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, part is the useful assumption that we consist of many subpersonalities that live in coexistence under the same skin. So each part tries to reach its own goal, and often there are conflicts between the parts, although each part has a positive intent. So if most of your part respond to the I deserve to be successful affirmation with bullshit, I'm a loser, I don't deserve to be happy or successful, then repeating this affirmation to yourself would be demotivating. If you feel resistance or some negative emotion when you say I deserve to be successful, you surface something very important, and it's telling you that you have some work to do in this area. It is also telling you that you have a huge opportunity, because if your core consensus belief is and usually that would be at the unconscious level until you surface it, I don't deserve to be successful, and you're likely sabotaging yourself on a regular basis. And the work that you could do to address, I mean, there's lots of things. Find a good coach. There's actually excellent NLP parts integration exercises, which you can Google to how to do it. If it's really deep-rooted therapy, you can also start just moving into it by coming up with other positive affirmations that start moving you in the direction that don't cause a negative emotional reaction when you say it. So the next tip is customize your affirmation. So you can find affirmations pretty much everywhere. I mean, if you Googled it, affirmations, you could probably in 30 minutes put together literally a list of 1,000 recommended affirmations. So it's perfectly fine to use one that you've read or heard somewhere if it really resonated with you, but creating an affirmation specifically tailored to your goals using your own words often works a bit. Affirmations can be about anything, so why not get creative and consider ways to make yours as specific and useful as possible. People find it helps to link their affirmations to core values, and that can help you remain focused on the broader picture of what really matters to you. And I recommend avoiding the super ultra positive affirmations along the lines of, I am beautiful, or everyone I meet today has my best interest at heart. A lot of the affirmations that Louise Hay does kind of, I think, fall into, not all of them, but some of them fall into that ultra positive category. I think personally more neutral or specific statements such as, I love my smile and kind face, or I'm beautiful on the inside, or things that are, I'd say, more specific or more realistic generally prove to be more helpful. Saying I am beautiful every morning and look at myself in the mirror isn't going to make my exterior suddenly beautiful. I'm pretty clear. So another tip is practice affirming yourself every day. So to get the most benefit, it'd be better if you start a regular practice and make it a habit. Remember, habit is discipline. So start with 3 to 5 minutes. If you can do it twice a day, that'd be great. And try, for example, you can do affirmations when you first wake up in the morning and when you're getting into bed. 2 good time frames to do. So I repeat each affirmation around 10 times and listen to yourself saying it, focusing on the words as they leave your mouth and focusing on the feelings in your body when you say them. Because remember, it's not going to work if you're basically rejected. If you can't accept something that's true, you either need to tailor it or work with it until you can't, or let it go. That's not an affirmation that's going to work. And like most habits, it's better if you make your routine consistent and try not to skip any days. So if you meditate, affirmations can be a great addition to your daily practice. And I do, and I actually have a couple of standard affirmations I use at the beginning of my meditations and 2 or 3 I used at the end. Actually, a couple I sprinkle through the middle of my meditation. As a reminder, be patient because it can take some time before you notice any changes. So stick with it. So another benefit of a daily routine, interestingly, practicing affirmations can activate the reward systems in your brain. So these areas are the same reward systems, the reward centers that respond to other pleasurable experiences, such as eating your favorite food or winning a prize. So the neurological research confirms there is actually a basis for using positive affirmations if you use them effectively. So the action item for the week, identify one specific area where a positive affirmation might support you, and then craft specific affirmation that addresses that area using your own. So that's come up with one affirmation to add to your maybe starting inventory. Here are 4 that I use that in most cases they weren't completely stock. I got maybe the core idea from someplace and then refine it. I expand in abundance, success, love, and presence every day as I inspire those around to do the same. The other one, and this first one's one I use almost the first thing when I meditate, which is I meditate on a daily basis and reap great benefits from that practice. Now, because I take the action of, and now I have a firm habit of meditating every day, this is a very useful affirmation for me because it reinforces the practice and reminds me that I do get a whole lot of benefit out of meditating. If I wasn't meditating on a daily basis or close to it, wouldn't be helping me. Good morning or afternoon in your case.
Yeah. Hey, Stephen.
Hi there. So do you use affirmations at all, or have you used them in the past or tried them?
Yes, I used them in the past, and then I didn't use them for a while, meaning a few years.
Yeah.
And then I got introduced to Jed Helmstetter. Have you heard of him?
Don't think so.
He's the author of the book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. I mean, he does a scientific breakdown of why self-talk works and how it influences our brain. And
Yep.
you mentioned it as well, the neuroplasticity in our brains, and how we can apparently we can see in the brain how different thought patterns create different neurological pathways.
Mm-hmm.
Like certain brain connections become stronger or thicker or something like that.
Yep.
So, and what he does is he has it's not affirmations because he calls them self-talk script. But at the end of the day, it's the same concept, just slightly different, I guess. I used to listen to some of his self-talk script, and the way he suggested is that you listen to them. But you have to listen to them actively. It also works if you listen to them passively because of how the subconscious works. Stronger, just the way you explained here. Stronger if you say it and you pay attention to your emotions, things like resistance or enthusiasm and so on.
Affirmations are absolutely self-talk, just like most of the negative beliefs, limiting beliefs came from negative self-talk in the past, or even current self-talk, negative self-talk, where people beat themselves up or say things that aren't true, aren't objectively correct, but they're just constantly programming themselves in a negative manner. So what's different about his scripts versus just calling it an affirmation?
So I just opened my document where I have an old script. I can read you a couple of phrases. For example, one script is about self-esteem. Mm-hmm. And it says things like, I like who I am and I feel good about myself. Mm-hmm. Although I always work to improve myself and I get better every day, I like who I am today. And tomorrow, when I'm even better, I will like myself then too. I think it goes on and on and on like that. Right. So it's more like I don't know, I guess whereas the difference is that affirmations are 1 or 2 phrases and very powerful. Right. His scripts are longer. He uses many phrases to paint a big picture of how you think about of yourself instead of picking one phrase and really honing in on that one phrase?
I mean, I think it's pretty much along the same lines. I wouldn't necessarily argue for one over the other. I mean, if you start with some of the things I particularly recommended as far as pick a particular area that you most want to work on, or where you think you've already identified some negative areas or limiting beliefs, and then you can kind of take an inventory of what's out there as far as stock phrases, and also engage your creative juices and come up with words that work for you. And then you can build out, a whole any conversation around that by doing what he does.
I think the reason why affirmations or self-talk don't work for so many people is because they use stock phrases. The example that you gave about me looking in the mirror every day saying I am beautiful. Right. It's like I know it was funny, but it's so true, because you're not gonna change the shape of your chin, the color of your eyes. These things don't change because you look in the mirror every day and say, I am beautiful. Like with all things in life, if you actually put in the work, and you think about very specifically, what is it that I need? And you made the example of, what was it exactly? Like, I like my smile, and
I like my smile and my kind face.
Exactly. Like, I like my smile and my kind face. You only come up with that if you ask yourself those difficult questions. Like, how do I define beauty? How do I want, what needs to happen in this world so that I feel beautiful or handsome, or, and not everyone is willing to put in the work. So they resort to these generic, vague, completely unrelated to their life statements. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work because your subconscious isn't fooled easily. If your subconscious smells bullshit.
Yeah, right. Right.
It is BS.
And related to that is, if you've picked, even if it's a stock phrase that might actually match up pretty well with a specific limiting belief that you have, if when you say it, you get a negative emotional reaction, that means one or more of your parts, probably, and that goes back to the NLP definition of part, doesn't believe it. And as a matter of fact, they have a strong opinion in the other direction, like, I deserve to be successful. Well, if you get a negative reaction out of that, some part of you, and probably the majority, or it has kind of the controlling vote, it's not going to work for you. You've got to work through, it can be very educational, because if you weren't really conscious of it, and you start working with an affirmation around that area, and you get that reaction, then you can start analyzing and go, whoa, wait a minute. Why? Okay, let's think there. All right, let's have a huddle, all my different parts. Let's kind of talk this out. Why is it that you think I don't deserve to be happy? So
yeah, exactly. And that is very uncomfortable work. Just from my personal experience in my surroundings, there's very few people who want to have that conversation. I don't know. It's been my life experience. So I'm really not surprised when people are like, oh, this is just woo-woo, it doesn't work. Yeah, you're not even doing it. It's like,
right, you're not doing it right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, don't tell me you go to the gym when you, like, people say I go to the gym, but they literally just go to the gym. Like, they don't exercise.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like, I go to the gym every day. Yeah, but using the treadmill, you're not lifting, you're not doing anything. It's not.
However many I got, 14 subscribers, or here's where I'm at, just getting started, blah, blah, blah.
All right, awesome, Stephen. And by the way, happy Easter Sunday. Yeah, see you tomorrow and Tuesday.
Thanks for watching this video recording from my live weekly workshop. Every Sunday, I feature instantly actionable steps you can take to overcome procrastination, increase your productivity, and get your shit done. Followed up by Q&A and discussion with the live participants. I really hope you found this video useful and you feel like watching it was time well spent. Please post any questions or comments you have. I always answer posts. I'd appreciate it very much if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you know anyone that would enjoy and benefit from this particular episode, please send them the link. Stay productive, my friends.